Reason number 46 to get a Nissan. Features, especially the ones you get with the 2025 Nissan Kicks Play. Integrated Apple CarPlay, a spacious interior, advanced safety features, and more room in your budget. Because it's the most affordable new vehicle in Quebec. Get the 2025 Nissan Kicks Play S from only $22,774, including a $2,600 cash purchase bonus. Visit your Nissan dealer today. Until March 2nd, conditions apply. Details at Nissan.
Welcome back to the Elias Macco Show. It's 10:21. Of course, Bill 96 is having significant effects on English CEGEPs. In an attempt to bring more French to CEGEPs, foreign language classes have been put on the chopping block. Now, starting this fall, incoming students that don't have a certificate of eligibility to study in English will have to take a French exit exam in order to graduate CEGEP. And, of course, you think about Anglophone students in English CEGEPs, they're going to have to take additional French courses. But there's only so much time in a day. There's only so many credits you have to do. So additional courses could force foreign language teachers their jobs. Let's speak to one right now. Christina Chough has joined us in studio. She teaches Spanish at Dawson College, also chairs the Modern Languages Department. Christina, thanks for coming in.
Calimera. Thanks for having me.
Calimera. She speaks Greek too. Unbelievable.
Wonderful.
Spanish. How many languages do you speak?
Really only 3 fluently.
Okay. English, French, Spanish.
That's correct.
Okay. So let's talk about the changes and how they are affecting foreign languages. Why are CEGEPs facing these tough decisions?
Well, the government created Law 14 that passed last year, and there hasn't been a lot of consultation with the administrations about how to implement it. Mm-hmm. So the college administrations realized that the only way to implement all these additional French courses is to cut a complementary course. Uh-huh. Now, many of your listeners will remember back in the day, we used to have 4 complementary courses. They're like electives at university. Mm-hmm. It provided students with the opportunity to really go outside their programs, experiment, see different things. Mm-hmm. And modern languages have always been a really key component of that complementary education. About 15 years ago, they cut the 4 classes down to 2, and now administrators are saying, well, we're going to take one of those 2 complementaries away and make it a French class. Uh-huh. So we've only got half of our students left to teach during the year, and now many of the administrations are saying that they're going to make all complementary courses in French. So It means anything that cannot be taught in French cannot be offered, and that will affect all of the modern languages across the English CEGEP network tremendously.
So I imagine you can go to CEGEP and study modern languages. Is that will there be any classes left in your department?
Well, they're going to be very few.
Uh-huh.
We're actually part of the ALC program. We're just one component. And we usually have about 150 students in our program. Now, some people might be saying, well, you still have 150 students. You should be happy with what you have. Uh-huh. But 150 students means that that's not enough work for one person. Just for context, I'm at Dawson. At Dawson, we teach 6 languages, Spanish, German, Italian, Hebrew, Chinese, and Greek. Uh-huh. And so,
all those are going to face the same fate? All those languages?
Everyone is going to face the same fate. Our smaller disciplines don't have tenure, so automatically they're the first ones to be chopped. They're the ones with the least amount of job security, and they're the first ones to go. Yeah. And even the ones who do have job security may not have that much security if we're only teaching 150 students a year rather than 2,000.
So if in English CEGEPs, these will go away.
Yes.
Is there an opportunity for some of these teachers to now move to French CEGEPs to teach these languages?
Well, that would be a lovely idea, except for the fact that we've actually received teachers from French CEGEPs that don't have enough work at French CEGEPs.
Yeah. Okay.
So, this is a really common practice throughout the CEGEP network that if you don't have enough work, they give you a tag. It's called a MED, mise en disponibilité. Mm-hmm. And so then they tell you, find another job within the network. You have to go within 50 kilometers of your house. But really, there aren't any jobs for anyone. So it really means putting people out on the street. Some of the college administrations are considering that maybe other people can teach courses in French. So these complementary courses taught in French. So it's been proposed that I teach culture hispanophone, or my colleagues teach culture italophone. Yeah. But it's not the same thing as teaching language. Yeah.
completely different.
It's totally different. I've been doing this for 24 years.
Yeah.
And now someone's telling me that I can't teach people how to speak Spanish. I'm supposed to teach people about Spanish speaking culture and French.
Okay, so let's talk about the fight here. And I'm thinking about a movie that I loved from my CJEP days. I was in CJEP when this movie Rushmore comes out, and one of the plot lines of this movie Rushmore is this kid, he hates that he has to study Latin. And then one day, the school goes ahead and gets rid of the Latin program. And he's like, they're getting rid of Latin? I got to fight to save Latin in order to impress a woman, right? So he fights, and we're going to save Latin, and he does it. He saves the Latin courses. Is there a fight here that can save these courses? Or are you resigned to this? Now it's a done decision. What about the fight to save these courses?
Well, right now, I think that the fight is really about convincing the government, right, the Ministère de la Francisation, that the timeline doesn't make sense. The Ministry of Higher Education is obviously trying to implement whatever the Ministry of Francisation says that they should do. And so I don't think that there's much of a fight to be had, but we can delay the timeline and maybe rethink how these courses are integrated. But really, this has just been a whirlwind thing. And as I've likened before, and I've said before, the government decided that they're going to implement 3 additional courses on top of the 2 that are already there. And they've said, you need to do this. But it's like getting to Chibougamau from Montreal without a car or map. There's no guideline here.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck. Yeah. We're with Christina Chough, teaches Spanish at Dawson College, chairs the Modern Languages Department. Christina, it's not lost on me. The 3 extra courses that came out of nowhere was a liberal amendment, right?
It is.
Which here's the thing, right? I'm trying to think about trying to sway the government's mind on this. And they used it back when people were trying to sway them months ago, right? They're like, well, listen, it's a liberal amendment. What do you mean you want us to change it, right? So do you feel like it's a lost cause almost? And so now are you in mode of thinking about what do I do in the future?
I'm definitely in the mode of thinking about what I'm going to do in the future. It's a really scary prospect. I thought I was good. When I got tenure at Dawson, I thought, my God, this is awesome. I get to do this as long as I want. I'll retire whenever I want. If I want to do this till I'm 75, I can. And now I don't know if I'm going to make it to my pension. So of course it's so you have
scary. You have tenure at Dawson.
I do.
But how much protection? Like, does it gives you protection? Well, they'll find a job for you, and you may have to teach something you've never taught before. Like, what is that? Having tenure, how much protection does that give you?
The only thing that it does right now is it gives me 2 years of 80% of my salary with no work. So if in those 2 years that I don't have enough work at my CEGEP, I can't either recycle myself by doing another master's degree or doing some sort of education that will bring me up to snuff to be hired in another department, for example, humanities. I'm dead in the water.
Let's end this off here by talking about the effect on the students. So what long term, what does this move? What does it cost the students that come out of the CJEP system?
Well, I think that it's not exclusive to Anglophone education, but I think that the Anglophone community and Anglophone CEGEPs have really always prided themselves on the fact that they give global education. And so the fact that we have a disproportionate number of bilingual speakers in our institutions, and then on top of it, we've been able to offer them further modern languages. Languages are the most transferable skill in the workplace. It doesn't matter what you do. If you're in healthcare, you're in sales, you're in anything in the world, you can use languages.
Yeah.
And so, I don't really know where this is going to lead us. Where for the students, it means that they're losing out on key skills that they can learn during really formative years. And I'm very in favor of students being more proficient in French. That's not the issue at hand.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get people to work in the world.
Let me tell you something. Now you've brought up something, you've reminded me of something that we've discussed on this program with other people. When we have CEOs on the show, leaders in certain business areas in this city come on the program, and I ask them why they pick Montreal. They say it's not just the bilingualism of the workforce, it's the fact that so many are trilingual.
Yes.
And you think about, everyone's like, well, if you speak English and French, you can sell the whole world. But if you speak English, French, Spanish, English, French, Chinese.
Yeah.
Now you're cooking with gas when it comes to you being able to reach the entire world, right?
Absolutely.
Christina, I'm sorry to hear what's going on in English CJEPs here.
Yeah.
I hope there's some sort of miracle resolution that can come out of this, but I see how students are going to be affected.
It's tragic for the students, and it's really funny. I was reading a quote from Pierre Bourgault. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's one of the leaders of the sovereignty movement. He was one of the early leaders, and he actually shut his own party down to make way for René Lévesque. And he said, "Quand nous défendons le français chez nous, ce sont toutes les langues du monde que nous défendons contre l'hégémonie d'une seule." And it's very ironic that this quote has been going around to support Quebec's sovereignty. Yet here we are in this situation where it's the government that's really trying to shut down languages.
That's right.
In a key component
Because if you can shut down French, Spanish, or shut down Greek or Chinese at Dawson, well, you can also shut down French at the end of the day, right? When you think about that. Christina, great discussion. Think about a career in broadcasting.
Thank you so very much.
Because you're such an excellent communicator.
Excellent.
Christina Chough teaches Spanish at Dawson and chairs the Modern Languages Department.